Ta-da! And I'm dying again. Uh, why am I dying really? Burping, coughing, everything. I guess it's just some adverse reaction to the fact that I'm starting to stream. I mean, I've noticed that right before I start the stream, either in English or in Russian or in whatever language, I I feel not so good. Something is in my body is very, very against me talking loudly and for prolonged periods of time. So anyway, today I want to watch Tech against whoever the hell is this man, Undead, Undead Orc, Undead Potato. I don't know. Sorry, I forgot. Huntsman. Is he Huntsman really? Godfather. Why did I? He is an undead, of course, I can say that for sure, and the fact that he is the Godfather doesn't tell me anything. I don't even know to whom he is the Godfather. Anyway, it's a game on the springtime, played at 28th of October, and we see Criplord here. And I'm quite interested how Criplord works against humans on lower ranks, on tier 2 games, in tier 2 games or whatever else. So that may be quite entertaining. I've got to make the game volume way down. Turn the game volume way down. Yep. And here we go. El Polito Pio. Is he from... I don't know. I never knew country flags. I mean, why would a person even know what flag means what? Because it's such a useless information, which is which always can be encountered in Google. Criplord is out. Criplord is, of course, making the quick expansion, and he is not greedy. He goes for for beetles, and he wants to creep a green spot first. That would be reasonable, but also creeping an expansion straight away on springtime is completely possible. Yeah, he is going straight towards the expansion, because human will also run towards the expansion. And if you creep the green spot, you may end up in quite a big trouble. Because Archmage will come, Archmage will be level 2, so he will have one more elemental, which means he'll have 3 elementals in total. And the 3 elementals along with Archmage is a few dead ghouls at least. But no, for some reason Human decides to play passively, Human decides to not go anywhere, at least for now. And right now, Human just creeps his own green spot. I believe he'll go for his own expansion on his left, his natural, basically. But that's a strange decision. That's quite a strange decision, really, because by doing it, he lets Undead to have an uninterrupted expansion, to have an expansion that is completely out of any danger, and Undead is waiting for the enemy. He's basically standing here not because he's bad, he's standing here because he's just waiting for the Archmage to come and harass him. But no, it never happened. Human will of course establish his own expo, but that barely matters because Undead's expos are quite powerful on this map. Finally, Archmage is level 3, Criplord is creeping green spots, Acolyte is building Necropolis, so that's quite a quick Necropolis, and Archmage comes to harass. Yes, Undead spent quite a big chunk of time doing nothing, but at the same time it should not really matter. This expansion should be uninterruptible, especially if you'll be able to catch the Undead, to catch the Archmage. And Archmage doesn't have boots, having boots is very important. And you should instantly start making Nerubian Tower on your main. Yes, that's exactly what he does. There are 5 ghouls. And at the same time, you know that Human will not attack your expo, because he's present on your main base, and your main base is not in such great danger, because you're basically there, all your ghouls mining lumber are there, so you have at least 2-3 additional ghouls to your normal army. A few of these ghouls should die. They likely achieved... Yes, there's one corpse of a peasant, I believe. But it shouldn't matter all that much, and these ghouls will try to attack the main base. And of course, these players are very, very stingy with their money, and they'll pay for it. Human, meanwhile, is creeping. I mean, there should be an arcane tower. There absolutely should be an arcane tower. These ghouls may trade unfavorably with militia, but it doesn't really matter. Because the very fact that militia is pulled is already at human's disadvantage. So even though you don't kill anyone, no, losing 2 ghouls is that too much, losing 3 is a disaster. Really, it's not a disaster, it's just not very nice. 360 gold for an undead with an expansion is not such a big deal, but it's still sort of. So, human got no boots still? You know you're playing against a freaking Crypt Lord. Could you please buy boots on your Archmage, otherwise any surrounds would not count as a race advantage against you. Really, he got stuff of TP, he got TP itself, he'll be fine, he will get out of an Impale surround at least once. And quite reliably, and he'll do it twice, and then he will have no TP, no HP, and he will have to creep anyway. So not having boots is more or less acceptable. The problem is that in the end you'll still need boots on either your Archmage or your Mountain King. Yes, you get a little bit of an economy boost by not paying this 250 gold, while undead of course pays, but that's acceptable. Right now there is still no tier 2. This graveyard will be cancelled. That was a good Impale, that was an amazing Impale, and that has chosen Beatles level 2. Impale level 2 is also a perfectly valid option. And the main... Hi! Hello, my friend Foxware. Foxware randomized. I'm just streaming some Warcraft. Добрый вечер вам. Добрый день! Какой нафиг вечер! 3 elementals are out. This Tomb of Relics should be rebuilt. Should be instantly rebuilt. Yes. You need this. You absolutely need these stuffs. Staves. Staves of whatever. I mean, right now he's about good 30 seconds away from his tier 2, but the moment his tier 2 will be ready, he should be completely fine. And he'll get some experience from these elementals as well. Yeah, you should rebuild your Tomb of Relics on your expansion, if human is present on your main. This ghoul craves blood. Yep, that's a good... Your English has become much faster. Yeah, that's what I'm paying most attention right now, because I absolutely need to speak way quicker. Yes, I was not very proud of myself casting back then, and I'm not proud right now, to be honest. But anyway, the biggest problem was how I prolong every single freaking word. How I am completely unable to speak even a little bit quicker. And yes, I've paid a little bit of attention, and I believe I've improved. Not a lot, but I've still improved. So, Undead... I don't really know what an Undead should do right now other than playing passively till he has tier 3. I mean, he absolutely needs second Tomb of Relics. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Him hires a Shredder. Why the hell? You've got a lot of peasants. You will not need more than likely 500 lumber. And you have 250, and your tier 2 should be almost ready. So, no, your tier 2 is ready, your Mountain King is out. Oh, you're going for tier 3. Okay, that explains everything. Crypt Lord is in a little bit of trouble, but he doesn't really care about bolt level 1 and doesn't care about the surround from 6 footies. Nobody cares about the surround from 6 footies when you're a huge beetle. And you're not even just a beetle, you're a king of all beetles. At least, not likely every beetle considers your rule as an ultimate one. Oh, losing this ogre will be will be a little bit of trouble, but losing Mountain King is way more important, of course, because yes, it's only level 1 hero, but at the same time, you are really not in any danger as him. You are really not also in any danger as an undead. So after this little skirmish, which is completely unnecessary, both will just run away and start creeping. And at this moment, if you have your hero and your opponent doesn't have his second hero, doesn't have his Mountain King who he wants to creep, what the hell he would creep for? Just items and experience on an Archmage who is almost level 5 anyway, and will not get, of course, any additional experience from creeps once he is level 5. What's the freaking point? So yes, killing this Mountain King was a little bit of a big deal. Okay, humans should go for 2 Griffin Aviaries, I believe. Yes, this they are being in construction. Buy a Scroll of Regeneration, and then you should just creep. You need my level 3 Mountain King. If Undead will just go and creep himself, he'll have a huge advantage. But no, for some reason he's running back towards his base to buy. Could you please buy a Staff of Negation, at least one? Really, you need it. Human is almost level 5, you will need 4 charges against level 5 elementals. Level 3 elementals who are from level 5 Archmage. Yes, both Griffin Aviaries are up, First Knight is getting out. Human also needs an upgrade for his knights, because without an upgrade, this 10% additional damage against medium armor matters. And matters a lot, by the way. Even on 4-5 knights, even on 3-4 knights, it's completely worth it. Lich is out. Death Knight is level 2. That was an interesting Stormbolt. Yeah, I hate you, freaking Beetle. I want your 20 XP. It's just 20 XP, my friend. You absolutely do not need to spend your Stormbolt and your cooldown on something like that. The bug is a bug. You basically just use an automatic rifle, although Stormbolt is more like a Desert Eagle shell, against a cockroach that lives in your house, and it's not even a huge cockroach. Yes, there are quite a few huge cockroaches right here, but still. So, human is creeping mid spot, yet at the same time, Undead is creeping the red spot. He'll get a good item from it, a relatively good item. Of course, he doesn't want the mask, he wants some aura he doesn't have, preferably some orcish aura, like drums or another set of drums, which do completely different things, because orcs play tam-tams differently, depending on these tam-tams. Whatever they are. So Undead will have destroyers quite soon. Yes, these are very late destroyers, but at the same time he'll have 3 of them at the same time. And all knights should die to these destroyers. Is there... yes, it's a sapper. It's a sapper that was used to kill just two burrows, yes. Human burrows are called farms, you know. It doesn't matter. One destroyer is out. It's just a destroyer that was raised from a statue with no mana, I believe. Just, I mean, to do some good. It was completely unnecessary. Human is TPing back, but he should be at a certain disadvantage, and at the same time Undead should just TP out, because he already did everything he wanted. Yes. Crippler is TPing out. That was the best decision. He didn't lose anything. He killed a few peasants. He killed 2 farms. He destroyed 1 tower, I believe. And towers, of course, give you experience. And human right now didn't even start producing griffins, because he's playing against Fiends with Web, and Fiends with Web will not really demolish griffins. Just griffins are not that good against them, and when you've got 3 knights, you may want to make more knights, and you've got quite a few spellbreakers on top of that. So human has more or less balanced army. Griffins, of course, will kill every single ghoul and every single beetle in about 2 hits, about 3 hits, because magical damage on a flyer is a very powerful thing. Oh, and that should, yes, and that should evacuate. It's not that terrible, it doesn't matter all that much that he runs around. I would try to catch at least a few of these gyrocopters, because you can do it with just your web. And then you can kill a few, because they get destroyed in about a second or two. Crypt Lord buys 2 mana potions, and human prepares to attack. I don't know why. No, human doesn't really want to attack. He wants to creep, and he sees creeps, and he believes that he should creep these creeps. Yes, and butter is buttery. No, butter is not certain. It's certainly not buttery, especially not Elizabeth buttery. And human tries to secure the middle expansion for himself. I doubt he'll succeed, because there are always beetles running around the map. Yes, there are 2 beetles already. Beetles are dealing damage. First gargoyle is out. There should be way more gargoyles to kill all these gyrocopters along with griffins. You need like 6, I believe, against this amount of area units. Because of course gargoyles are not immune to magical damage that griffins deal to them. And human is trying to establish towers in the middle. It shouldn't do well for him. That was a terrible gargoyle. Goodbye, gargoyle. Your ruler, your main Death Knight, your Lich King is very, very clumsy sometimes. So he doesn't value your life at all. Your unlife, to be honest. So human is trying to protect the mid expansion with his army. That's a very reasonable decision, because there is nothing on the map to do. Human can absolutely protect this expansion, but at the same time undead of course will not attack it, but attack something else. And there is one creep camp. There is just one creep camp remaining. This creep camp will fall. A few griffins are being caught. 1 griffin should die. At least 2 fiends died already. And Undead doesn't have any more air, so he should just lose this destroyer. Yes, he lost the destroyer. There are at least 3 knights alive, and Undead is losing this fight. I believe he should lose this fight. There is no way he should win this fight. At the same time, Creep Lord is getting closer to level 6, and level 6 Creep Lord is quite dangerous. Level 6 Creep Lord can change the outcome of the game. Level 5 Death Knight, level 5 Lich will change outcome of this game. But all the Griffins died. That's good, that's not terrible. Death Knight died. That was a terrible control by an undead player. He just decided that that Death Knight is invisible to an enemy and decided to run through the fight. Yeah, now he evacuates. Human certainly won. Human certainly won in this fight, but at the same time, yes, Crypt Lord level 6 is on the horizon. Crypt Lord level 6 will come. Crypt Lord level 6 will be completely unkillable while dealing a little bit of damage to everything around him. And losing Death Knight was just a terrible mistake. That was purely stupid. And he's making Boneyard. Yeah, you see knights, you're making Boneyard. I want some big fat worms. That's not a terrible decision, because human doesn't have that many gyrocopters, and although gyrocopters do significant damage to worms, to every flyer with light armor, at the same time, the general damage, in general is not that high, so you need way more than 6 to kill worm very quickly, and worm can be frost armored. And this Creep Lord gets surrounded, and he'll just TP out. No, he'll stuff out. Or not. That's what greed does to you, my friend. That's what greed does to you, my beetly friend. And human will establish his expansion quite comfortably, and Criplord is not yet even being revived, and there should be... He should be revived in the tavern, I believe, because there is no way Undead will comfortably wait till he is revived in a normal way in an altar. Yeah, just revive him in the tavern. You've lost, what, 700 gold? By not caring where you go and by saving 300 on a TP. Yes, that's an acceptable trade. At least you are brave. I mean, of course, also Criplord lost every point of his mana. Criplord lost half of his HP, which will be recovered quite soon. And I don't know what he is waiting for, because right now he needs to fight. He needs to get to 80, and he is close to 80. And then he absolutely needs to fight. He can't just wait. Your level, your gold, nothing will come to you freely. He's waiting for a Wyrm, I believe. He is just waiting for a single Wyrm, that's acceptable. But instead he's making gargoyles. And he's getting out of 80, which is also not very nice, and human will soon get to 100. I believe human will decide that he should go to 100 food, and then with 20 surplus food he will just kill the undead. And human decides to attack. He is the person who should not in any circumstance. Because yes, he will kill this altar, but at the same time he will lose this expansion, and that's what really matters. Because undead losing tier 3 is not good, it's a bit painful of course, but no, undead decides to protect his base, and it decides to do damage. There is just one peasant alive on the expansion, 2 towers went down, it was additional 0.1 level for the Crypt Lord, and this peasant should die, please kill the peasant, thank you. And that is attacking the middle, and he got a TP again. He bought a TP again. That was quite smart. And he is taking the middle for himself. That shouldn't be done. You should just destroy the humans building, and that would be completely fine. And human starts killing his own knights. For what freaking reason? You were not going over. Oh, he wants more flying machines. He saw all these gargoyles, he decided that gargoyles are the biggest of his troubles. That's not really correct, because yes, you will win battle in the air, but you have so few griffins. I mean, 3? Okay, 3 is not so few. And none that doesn't still have a Wyrm. He constructed a graveyard, a boneyard, but he didn't make a single Wyrm. That was just a wasted opportunity, and there should be Crypt Swarm. Yes, Crypt Swarm is out, which is not called Crypt Swarm, but anyway. It will be relatively hard to kill this Crypt Lord, and everything on the human side will slowly die. Yet he traded relatively favorably, because all the gargoyles died, but at the same time he got quite a few gyrocopters, and the gyrocopters do not do anything. And Undead decided that he should abandon this central position. That was a smart decision, and something that he should have done way back in time. He shouldn't even start to build this expansion. So, one of the slaughterhouses may fall, but in general, I believe humans' attack here is relatively futile. Yes, one of the slaughterhouses doesn't matter really, it's fine. You don't have production to support this slaughterhouse existence anyway. You don't have gold to support this production, and that was a terrible movement by an undead, and you should fight, really? Wow, where are you going? What are you doing? You've got a plan, but this plan feels like a complete garbage. What's the big deal with you running around the map? Dying to griffins, losing your destroyers to gyrocopters? I believe if there is a plan at all. And Crippler gets caught, Crippler dies, and it's over. I mean, that was just terrible decisions. That was overall just terrible decisions. Sorry, whatever, whoever you are, Lord Dominator, Godfather. Oh, that explains everything. He didn't turn up well in the movie. So, what game I should watch next? I've seen something interesting. Yeah, Leon against Elegant. That shouldn't be a bad game. Jens against Yumika. Jens against Sheik. Oh, that can be a good game. Did I watch this one? No, not likely. Oh, let's watch this one. It's Night Elf against an Undead, and Night Elf against an Undead can deliver. Oh, it can be a complete garbage, but who knows? And it's Scream match. For hell's sake, I don't even know what it is. Finals of Warcraft 3 Champions. Scream match. I don't know this map. I didn't even know it exists. It's a map that constantly screams. No, it's me who constantly screams. Okay, I've got to rename my stream. Jens against Sheik. Not Sheik. Sheik. No, it's Sheik. And then I've got to rename my stream on the YouTube. Tekko against Godfather. Jens against Sheik. It wasn't played on 20th of October, but I am too lazy to properly update date and time to every single game. It's not date. No, it's certainly date. Okay, anyway. Let's just watch this one. So we've got Unmounted against a Night Elf on a map that I have absolutely no clue about. There is a creep camp. It sort of reminds of Echo Isles, maybe a little bit different, but it may be very well inspired by Echo Isles, just with cross response. And of course there should be 2 shops, not just one as on Echo Isles. Yes, it's quite likely. And I have absolutely no idea what these 3 buildings in the middle are. Let's look at the fountains. Please show me the fountains. And of course, Night Elf starts with Merc Camp. The map is relatively big as I see, so there is no chance for Death Knight to interact with creeping, and even such a greedy creeping as creeping a Merc Camp early on will be completely safe for a Night Elf. So it's likely a free level 3 for Keeper of the Grove. Meanwhile, Undead will struggle, meanwhile Undead will try to find his levels, like killing wisps. Every single wisp is 25 experience. It's 20. No, it's 25, I believe. You need 8. Yes, you need 8 to reach. Maybe you need 10 workers to reach level 2. I completely forgot. Anyway, it was a wisp. So it sort of punished Night Elf for 60 gold. And meanwhile, Undead Sheik decides to establish his expansion. That is also completely understandable, because there is no way in the world Night Elf will be able to do anything about it. And of course he is also making his own expo. Kills a ghoul. That was an unlucky ghoul who was instantly entangled and murdered. That's completely fine. So there will be an expo against an expo, and Jens decides to get his level 3 from his own expansion. That is a reasonable decision, because yes, you don't want to run around the map, you don't want to run towards an enemy's expo, because Undead's expo will be ready, and if it will not be ready, there will be a Nerubian tower at least. No? Sheik, did you forget anything? I mean, you're playing against Keeper of the Grove, and you're starting with an expo without any Nerubian tower. That's not a good idea. Okay, finally Keeper of the Grove runs away. He'll have his free level 3, and Of course, Death Knight will also be level 3. Only 2 Moonwells, you of course need one more, but usually when Night Elves are making quick expo, they can't afford the 40 Moonwells, so... But in the end, you'll want both 40 and 50 Moonwell and an expo on top, so you can't really stay on 50 foot as a Night Elf against an Undead, because you will need all this mana recharge. And there are trends level 2, and Jens decides to go for this trend, but there is a troll priest, so 2 trends are going down instantly, and this attack is futile, at least for now, because you need to entangle the troll priest and kill the troll priest first, and then you can do something about the fact that your enemy is building an expa. Meanwhile, his own expa should be about 70% ready, so that's quite a quick expo on Night Elf's side, and absolutely no towers on an Undead's base, on an Undead's main. So yes, keeping Nerubians should cost you. It always should cost you, and that's exactly what happens. Because right now Undead is locked in his base, Undead is not creeping, all he kills are trends, and trends do not give practically any experience. And he can't start his tier 2, although he would like to. But he absolutely can't, and he's making Necropolis on his expansion. Yet, finally, at his expansion, he has a Nerubian tower, and his expansion should be safe for now. Also, he should make a Nerubian tower on his main, which will also cost another 100 gold. Is he still not taking up? Yeah, Jensen expansion is ready. And this attack with ghouls should be completely pointless. I'm really sorry, but these ghouls should not achieve a lot. Because Keeper of the Grove got Staff of Teleportation, Keeper of the Grove will come back, Keeper of the Grove will defend this tree. I mean, right now he's just recharging mana, but he'll still come back and defend this tree. This expansion will be cancelled, of course, but entangling the expansion. I wish I could see a rush of workers. That's completely possible on an Undead side. It's not that used any longer, because there were a few nerfs to Nerubian towers, to Acolytes. But back then, yes, it was quite prominent. You could buy 2 Sacrificial Skulls and just Acolyte rush a Night Elf. And that was quite disastrous sometimes for the Night Elf, and it was quite quickly patched. Because, yes, it happened after Acolytes were buffed with additional HP regeneration on creep, and they were basically unkillable by archers at this moment. And right now their HP regeneration is more or less reasonable. Yes, it's quick on creep, they are still the most protected worker, but at least you can't just rush anything with them. And there is an infamous Borrow Rush by an Orc. It happens sometimes against the Night Elves, but of course not against pro Night Elves, but against even players of a mid-tier, not that terrible players, to be honest. It can work. You just come towards the Night Elf's base and make a Borrow there, and you're more or less fine for a little while. If Night Elf reacts incorrectly, he's dead. And right now is killing all the ghouls, but at the same time quite a few archers die. It doesn't really matter. Nothing what happens right now matters, except in terms of experience that both sides are getting. Sheik is being able to... This music! It's great for backend development. Music? There is a music in this game. Oh yeah, quite likely. I'm sorry if the stream is too loud, if the stream is too quiet. Just tell me. Please tell me if ambient sounds are too loud or too quiet. I don't know, I have absolutely no idea. Until I watch my own stream later on YouTube myself, and I sometimes do it, but most of the time I'm just too lazy. Okay, Ogre Falls on the that side. That's an expensive merc. That's a large loss. That was awful that he even hired this ogre just to kill the shop. And in the end he lost it on top of everything. So yeah, I believe that's a terrible decision from an Undead. Meanwhile, he has quite a few units, Night Elf lost quite a few, but Druids are out. And right now, once Druids are out, you are not able to do anything against Night Elf for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, until your tier 3 is up, until your ghouls get frenzy, until you have some reasonable number of wings, until you've got Leech on your side. And right now, Druids will just kill this Death Knight if he decides to be too greedy. Not really kill, just let him go away, make him go away. Not let him go away, of course, they will let him go away eventually, but generally speaking, they want to make him go away. Both these priests should die. That was a bad mistake by Sheik. Please kill the second priest. Okay, no means no. That was no less of a mistake by a Night Elf player. Not killing this second priest was awful. And this Dryad may die to a freaking troll priest. No? Okay, that's fine. Zeppelins, of course, can be slowed by Dryad poison, but they can be slowed by freaking slow. Because slow is magical and Dryad poison is physical and Zeppelin is a construct. So magic works on constructs and physical effects do not.
A player's forces are under attack.
Tier 3 is ready on Night Elf side. First bears should be out. I doubt this bear. Oh, that's a sapper. That's a goblin sapper. The problem is that just a goblin sapper will not be able to destroy this ancient. You need at least a few ghouls. So the only achievement he could get is destroying an entangled gold mine. And even that didn't happen. And these are Druids. Okay. You instantly need to stop producing more bears than just 2. You need only 2 bears, mostly to have certain domination on the ground, to provide you with rejuvenation and roar. But at the same time you need to produce more Dryads and likely make an Ancient of Wind. Do it, please. And it is trying to harass, he's not quite successful in his harassment, but he'll be fine. This Dryad should run away, little girl. Though she's not a girl. Yeah, and Malfurion is basically a stag, and we can only imagine what happens between Malfurion and Dryads in these woods. So, Undead will be incessant and harassing, and you need a protector. You need a protector to counter this harass, otherwise you'll lose all the wisps. You need at least 2 protectors, and for some reason Jens having 1k gold doesn't build any. Because I don't believe that he doesn't know. He's quite a well-known tier 2 player, but for some reason he doesn't want to. That's strange, that's extremely strange. Please make a protector. He made Ancient of Wind, of course, maybe that's his decision, but in this case he needs at least a few hippogriffs to counter Zeppelin harass, to counter these gargoyles. And then Undead got 3 crypts, Undead is making Destroyer form to counter bears, but there should be only 2 bears and no more. You've seen gargoyles, you've seen Zeppelin, you know what's coming. You know that destroyers will be added and your bears will be relatively useless. No, he just doesn't want to win in this game. Make a protector. That's 1 tower that solves every single problem you may have with gargoyles. He's making something. Maybe it's a protector, but it's not in the right place. Panda is leveling up, once Panda will be level 5, and it will suffer heavy consequences, and it's a Dreadlord. That's an interesting decision. You should also make a protector on your main base, by the way, because right now Undead will just harass your main base just as well. At the same time, Panda got himself a pipe, for hell's sake! Okay, pipe will win him this game. Yes, pipe is not that incredible against Pipe is not that incredible when you've got so many Dryads and just a few bears, because yes, mana on the Dryads is not worth a lot, because you don't have a lot to dispel, but at the same time, it still matters. Pipe gives you more breaths, Pipe gives you, on Panda, I mean, and more beers. Panda also gives... God, Panda. Pipe also gives you more rejuvenations on bears. And Pipe in general is an amazing item. The only time you may want to sell Pipe as a Night Elf is when you've got Demon Hunter first, and you've got reasonably unlimited mana. In this case, at least on your Demon Hunter, because he doesn't need a lot of mana. Keeper of the Grove will fall off. His weakest level is level 5, of course, because he's relatively useless against an undead on level 5. When he gets to level 5, to level 6, he'll become very useful again, because undead likes to constantly harass, likes to abuse the fact that he got statues to replenish his resources, while Night Elf got very limited replenishment with just Moonwells and rejuvenations, which cost a lot. And once you've got Tranquility, you more or less solve this problem. Yeah, he goes for Torn Sora. Torn Sora are mostly for Hippogriffs. Does he have any Hippogriffs produced? Did he make second Ancient of Wind without making a single Hippogriff from the first one? And he got no slots for Sentry Wards. Okay, yes. He got quite a few Hippogriffs, and with Torn Sora and with Scroll of Protection, they may be able to win against Gargoyles. Against all these Gargoyles, and he got 1-1 upgrades, while Undead got 2-1 upgrades, and this Protector will stand. Protectors are great at defending expansions from Gargoyles. And of course, Night Elf will have Roar, Mark of the Bear, whatever. A paw on all his units, basically plus 25% to his damage. And another heal scroll should be bought. Yes. He got everything to fight. The only question is, does he have enough hippos? And the big problem with Undead right now that I see is that he picked Dreadlord for Aura. That's good. That's not terrible. But at the same time, he didn't take Crypt Swarm. And Crypt Swarm level 2 would be amazing against Hippogriffs. It's a lot of damage to a lot of targets. And it also lets you sort of negate the fact that Torn Sora exists, and that Hippogriffs are generally a little bit better than Gargoyles at exchanges. But at the same time, Sleep is more or less useful against Panda. You don't want Panda to breathe on your units, to breathe fire, to make them drunk, and then to feel terrible about being drunk and so die from this suicide. No, it's not likely from suicide, and he loses two statues for free? Really? That's a lot of money. And that's 2 potential destroyers, and that's 70 seconds on your slaughterhouse wasted. And Night Elf is just making his second expansion because he can. He is at 80, he got comfortable number of Hippogriffs, he is not really afraid of being wrecked because there is not a single destroyer on Undead's side. And with no single destroyer, there is nothing to dispel your roar. And with 25% additional damage, your Hippogriffs do a lot of damage. And now that's a stupid fight. The only stupid fight that can happen between Mass Air against Mass Air. Because you never know how it will end up, and the fact that there was nothing to dispel Scroll of Protection and to dispel Mark of the Wild tells us a little bit about how it ended up. But still, it always looks like a fair trade in the beginning. Undead is struggling, but Undead is still alive, and I've seen that this game lasted for 35 minutes or so it's not the end. It's certainly not the end, it's only the beginning. And Sheik right now got 2 key gold, so he'll replenish his units, his army relatively quickly. And the problem with such trades, when you trade hippogriffs with gargoyles, when you make a specialized air fighter against your enemy's army, that you have to take certain advantage of it. That you do not only have to destroy an enemy army, but to capitalize on it after this fight. Because right now, Jens is basically food locked. He got so many useless hippogriffs, which he can't utilize in any way, and archer hippos are just a joke still against an undead. So right now, his army is big. He got 30 foot advantage, 20 foot advantage right now. But at the same time, this is virtually non-existent, because your food advantage is hippos, and they do not attack land. So if your enemy doesn't have any land units, all you have is just
A player's forces are
useless 30 food or so. It should be about 15 hippogriffs. At least it's 12. So it's the difference is virtually non-existent in food. Yes, they'll take some damage, but in general you may want to kill them yourself. You may decide to go for Hippo Archers. You've got 3-2 upgrades, but Hippo Archers do not scale well with your Hippo upgrades because they use different upgrades. So yes, you're basically just have a huge buffet flying around for Lich or Dreadlord or even Death Knight to take and eat and get a lot of experience out of all these units. Meanwhile, Panda is 5.6. The moment Panda will be 6, hell, you'll be powerful. And that's a good decision by Jens. He decides to go Chimeras. Why? Because the best counter to Chimeras are gargoyles. And you've already got something that counters gargoyles. So just going for Chimeras, just letting Chimeras with acidic breath, it's corrosive breath, I believe. Anyway, with corrosive breath, siege enemies' main base would be a good decision, because it will be quite hard for an undead to. Oh, that's a second retraining. That's cute. Again, that's something to upset the fact that you have so much useless units. Keeper of the Grove retrained back to trance again. Because there is no more gargoyles, no more aerial engagements, no more reason to reflect 30% of all melee damage back to an attacker. I mean, this... kill the Abomination, please. Do not focus Fiends. With your Chimeras, that would be awesome. One Chimera should die. Another Chimera should die, but at the same time... no, nothing will happen at the same time, and Undead should be ahead with these Fiends. For a while, Panda will still equalize the field with his breath, eventually. And all these useless hippogriffs just flying around, not doing anything. Losing 2 Chimeras was painful. They were not in a proper place, they were completely separated from the main army, and there are not many units in the main army, to be honest. And he's still at 90 foot. What did he buy? What did he make? More bears?
a player's forces are under attack.
That would be reasonable. He's waiting for the production to end. He doesn't really want to lose this expansion. But he wants some additional units, and these 2 meat wagons will just obliterate these bears. I mean, these dryads and these buildings and everything else. And meat wagons are basically your main target. Not abominations, of course. And yes, that's sleep used on level 5 Panda, and Panda will sleep for a little while. And another sleep. Everything for your meat wagons to survive. But right now bears should take the upper hand, because abominations do not deal a lot of damage. They deal certain damage, but not so much. And Undead decides to evacuate because he wants to save his damaged units because his army will not survive against another attack by Panda, another breath by Panda. Meanwhile, Panda doesn't really have a breath prepared. He didn't have mana. He needs something. He likely needs to sell this period of vitality and just buy a mana potion instead. And Undead, of course, got 2 expansions. Night Elf also got 2 expansions. So they are both in a more or less equal place, but Night Elf absolutely needs more bears. And he got 3 freaking Ancients of Wind.
Town is under siege.
And that's terrible. That's just terrible. He overbuilt units for no reasonable purpose. Just having 2 Ancient of Winds would be completely enough. Maybe even 1 would be completely enough. And right now Undead will be incessant with his attacks because he can. He is at 80, he wants to attack, he got full mana, he wants his Lich to be level 5, he wants his Dreadlord to be level 5, and Night Elf is a little bit food locked, but no, he should be fine. That was a poor troll priest. That was quite a disaster. And right now with 4 Chimeras, he should be able to deal with these Fiends. Fiends are burning, there should be another breath soon. 1 Chimera goes down, Panda is asleep, this Dreadlord will be fine. 2 Chimeras go down, but at the same time a good, large, nice chunk of an Undead's army goes down. He finally attacks proper units, Panda is level 6, he uses ultimate, but Undead presses DP. And that's terrible. That's terrible. By chance, of course, you want to have your ultimate prepared for an actual fight. Yes, you can sort of siege an expansion with this ultimate and it will still do some good for you. But Undead already evacuated from this expansion. And yes, of course, you can't fight against Panda in the ultimate. Please don't, it will not end up well for your Fiends, for your meat wagons, for anything. These 3 bears are just pure evil. Jens is killing something which is not an Undead's army. He should try to kill Fiends. Really, that would be such a good decision. Breath of fire, yes. I breathe fire, you breathe fire, it's your desire, it's my desire. No, I am even seeing Electric 6 wrongly. It will not be a big trouble to save Panda, because of course Keeper of the Grove got a stuff to save him from any danger. Keeper gets oh hell, that's another sleep. And for some reason Jens just doesn't wake up his heroes. I mean, that's just sleep. It lasts for 1 second. It gives you invulnerability for 1 second, but then you can just attack your Keeper of the Grove with a Dryad, and Keeper will be back again. But no, hell no, I don't want to. And that was awful. That was quite awful by Jens. He has to rebuild Panda in the tavern for a huge chunk of money. Okay, Death Knight goes for Aura level 3. He absolutely doesn't believe that anything he can revive will give him any benefits. His ultimate is not terrible right now, but I mean, you can revive bears, and bears will be fine fighting on your side, but in general it's not the best ultimate in the game, so I am completely for the fact that he decided to go for an Aura. Okay, Death Knight got 2 wands of negation to counter Keeper of the Grove, specifically. But Panda will have his metamorphosis again in 15 seconds, and it gives Night Elf enough time to rebuild his units, to remake his army. Panda buys Potion of Anti-Magic. For what freaking reason? All you need to learn is to attack your own units with your I mean, you sleep units, you sleeping heroes, with the other units, and it'll do. You don't need anti-magic. Not on Panda anyway. Please attack Panda with Keeper. Or with a Dryad, or with anything really. No? Okay. He'll wake up anyway, I guess. These trends are relatively useless, but they don't give a lot of experience, so they both do not care about these trends. And I would like to see at least one Chimera, maybe two Chimeras trying to attack an undead space. And the big advantage for a Night Elf in this situation, it's not such a big advantage, it's just an advantage, is that... oh no, okay, Undead established his second expansion later. I was talking about the advantage of establishing your expansion later. Yes, it's disadvantage initially, but in the end it gives you more gold. I mean, it gives you longer time when you got additional income if you can survive until you've got all this additional income and all these chimeras will die. The stupidest way possible. Could you please save one with your stuff? No, you just use Tranquility, but you could have used Tranquility earlier and save a Chimera. Please save a Chimera. No, Keeper of the Grove is just sleeping. It's an old sleepy boy. He slept for 10,000 years, and now he wants to sleep some more. Jens is not playing well in this game, although he's quite a good player. He's not a terrible player by all means. But for some reason he just doesn't want to save any of his units from sleep. He wants to withstand the sleep as a man. You can even dispel sleep with Dryads, that's the big deal. Please research abolish magic if you don't have one. And dispel sleep with Dryads. It also works. It works just fine. I mean, did he forget that sleep doesn't give you complete invulnerability for longer than 1 second? You don't even need to attack your hero with any of your units to wake him up. You can just dispel freaking sleep with freaking Dryads. And meanwhile he's winning. Winning relatively confidently, because every time you fight on an enemy's expansion, you sort of become closer to your victory. Because, of course, while you're fighting, some damage, acolytes take some damage, workers take some damage, buildings take some damage, and you disrupt gold mining. A little bit maybe, but it still counts, it counts a lot. Okay, he's still trying to kill Dreadlord for some reason. You should try to kill Fiends, you should try to kill this meat wagon. That's the best you can do. Killing Death Knight also counts, but killing Dreadlord when Death Knight got all the money in the world doesn't matter all that much. Of course, losing any of the small pandas doesn't matter, because the large panda will just come back if any of the three smaller pandas survive. That's the usual ultimate. Ultimate still worked the way it worked 15 years ago. He finally decides to go for Tranquility. He needs to get back to get full potential of Tranquility, otherwise, yes, right now Keeper of the Grove is sleeping again. And sleeping again, please dispel, yes, he knows about this button. Dispel again, yes, he did it, he did it. My man Jens, you're glorious. And right now, just just his tree of life came to the Undead expansion and destroyed it. Because all the gold mines in this place belong to Night Elf. Yeah, the moment the woods come to your castle will fall. And your castle fell. The very wood of Kaer Mordher, not Kaer Morhen, whatever it was. Kaer Bannock I mean, it was Scotland, it was, of course, Magdak. Yeah, Magdak, exactly. It was, for hell's sake, who are you? Van Gogh. No, no. Macbeth. Yes, the best Shakespearean tragedy. Magdak. Sure. And right now, Undead doesn't have any gold income. He's selling some buildings, he gets some gold to rebuild his expo, but in general, he should suffer from lack of money, and he has 36 food, and Night Elf got 70. Yes, it's still about 10 food in Hippogriffs, but still, it's a huge difference. Panda will have his ultimate in 5 seconds, and right now he can attack. And there are about 15 dryads. 10 dryads, and this expansion will also be cancelled, and right now Undead has to use a few units to deal with the strengths, preferably Destroyer, because Destroyer will deal with every trend quite quickly. Please don't lose your expo. I mean, really, please don't lose your expo to a single meat wagon. That was the best dryad to choose! Come on, Chance! That was pathetic. He decided to TP back with Panda on a dryad that was basically not alive any longer. Meanwhile, he's just focusing Death Knight with all his dryads, and that's a way to solve the problem. Meat wagon finally goes down. Now Undead got no dispel at all, so you should try to entangle enemy units, but I believe you want to save enough mana for tranquility, so that's completely understandable that you don't do anything, that you don't try to entangle anything. And tranquility, no, you decided to summon more units, you decided to entangle something. That was not a good decision, but okay. Eventually you'll have your tranquility. And Death Knight is in trouble, and Death Knight falls down, and that was a perfect entangle. And finally Sheik leaves the game. This game should have ended, what? 10 minutes ago? 15 minutes ago? But no, they wanted to play. They wanted to make mistakes. Anyway, thanks for watching, whoever was watching. I'll come back later, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll come back later for a normal stream in Russian. I don't know what I will stream. I have absolutely no idea. Zero idea, to be honestly. It'll be something.